Bots and Goyles. I was going to read material from the most recent issue of Down the Dirt magazine, released yesterday. And based on title of writing within the book, it is titled Murder by Burger. And the cover of it, if I show it for you guys here, I have to zoom in for Zoom people, haha, you can see it there. It's actually a placemat that we got when we were in Argentina. I'm a vegetarian. My husband was eating meat and I said, we're here, would you like to go have a steak dinner, because I hear it's supposed to be really phenomenal. And he was like, oh my god, that's really kind of you. Yes, I would. And so when the people there found out that I was a vegetarian, they gave me this placemat, which I had to like remove stuff from. It's like the whole menu of everything, all the parts of the animal and everything on the back, just to be like, you know, to jibe me. But I'm like, that's just the coolest thing, to get this placemat setting of parts of an animal, because I was a vegetarian in this steakhouse in Argentina. But anyway, I used it for a cover, and I just got a praise from somebody going, this is your best cover ever. And I have no idea why it happens to be the best cover ever, but there you go. I'm going to share with you 3 from this book, and I apologize. I said I wasn't going to butt in with any more periodic table poems, and I'm not. But the first one I'm going to read from this is not only in this book, but it's also in the periodic table of poetry. And it's the first one of the ones that I'm going to read. I hope you guys appreciate it. I'm sorry I keep showing off books for you guys, but this is in both of those books, and it is titled Beauty in the Eyes of Einsteinium. Einstein dismissed some of his theories, even some we may know all too well. Einstein didn't like some of his theories because he thought they weren't beautiful. And I wonder, what is beauty? Is it the geomagnetic aberrations of the aurora borealis dancing along the horizon near the Arctic Circle? Is it the eternally changing wisps of volcanic trails in Saturn's moon Titan's atmosphere? Or is it the converting matter into pure energy with just the right formula? We ask, what is beauty? They say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so it makes me wonder. Einstein understood that everything was relative, because once he fathomed the relationship between matter and energy, once he understood the interconnectivity between matter and energy, he understood that his knowledge in the hands of evil men could mean that his fatherland, the land that he escaped from, he understood that Hitler and the Third Reich could be working on an atomic bomb, converting so little matter into so much devastating energy. Einstein understood the gravity of his writing a letter to appeal to Roosevelt to create a bomb to protect us from Germany. Now, imagine the finality of naming an element discovered after the first explosion of the hydrogen bomb, after Albert Einstein. Because, really, in a way, it's ironically beautiful. So we ask, what is beauty? Because chemists will make it clear that Einsteinium has no known uses. But think about it. If there is a logical reason to grow a certain flower and purchase at an inflated price to give someone you're smitten with on an early date, is there any logical reason to accept the De Beers Company global stranglehold of the pricing of placing the release of an otherwise common crystal that is loved by one to cherish, and a clear stone down their left ring to show to the world that they're otherwise taken? Is there any logical reason to claim a song for a slow dance on your wedding day? Logically? Of course not. But we do it anyway. We keep dried rose petals from that infatuating relationship. Women constantly ooh and ah over engagement ring sizes. And married people intrinsically feel they have to dance when they hear their wedding song. How illogical, but how beautiful. So we ask, what is beauty? And all scientists seem to use Einsteinium for now is basic scientific research. But that seems oddly fitting, since that is what Einstein did best, to think, to research. And that is beautiful. Beauty in the eyes of Einsteinium. Trying to show it off for people on different feeds here. And oh yay, mentioning beret. I did this with Music from the Hum in a South Africa show, and I'm wearing a freaking beret in this shot. 2013, I think. I'm like, I got the mic capped to my head, and I even have a beret there. That's the beret I lost, and I had to get another one. But I am not going to do any more periodic table poems, I promise. And as soon as this reading is done, I'm going to close the blinds so you guys aren't seeing this crazy light pattern on my face in a minute. But these are two more poems that appear in Murder by Burger. And this first one is titled Grab the Other's Neck. I don't know where to start. I don't know where all these feelings come from. I don't know how to stop them. These feelings seem to come rushing up to me, and I don't seem to have any control over them. And I hate myself for this. I'm not supposed to be having these urges, and I hate myself for thinking that you may be wanting me too. You know, I don't know much of anything about you, and I guess you don't know much about me. But I like what I know, because in some respects you seem like me. Yes, I like what I know, that you work too much, that you have too much drive, that you have this wild side and you do your best to keep your wild side in check. And I still want to be able to straddle you, take off your glasses, mess up your hair so that strands are falling around into your eye, touching your cheek and touching you to remind you of me, and to grab that hair at the back of your head and cock your head back so I could just see your mouth starting to open. Because God, I want to see that. And it would make me know that I am right. And it would make me know that you wanted me to you too. And I'd let your hair go. And you would stare at me and give me that look that I just can't explain and I can't argue with and have to submit to. And when I want this, I would wonder who would grab the other's neck for the kiss. I still don't know who would make that move or who could make that move. So I'm begging you to start this cycle. I'm pleading you. I don't want to be the only one with these fantasies. Tell these stories to me. Tell me you've thought these things too. Tell me you know that we're both stuck because you know there's nothing we can do. And I know this too. But I'd like to hear you say it to validate my fantasies in a way, because I'd love to hear you talk that way to me. I'm a sucker for that, you know? But tell me I'm not alone in this. So I'm begging you, I'm pleading you. Tell me I'm not insane for thinking about you. Tell me you have these fantasies too. This was one of the pieces that was read at a poetry fest in Chicago. It was my first appearance at the poetry fest, and I've got really tiny shots from them. Yes, I'm reading, I'm acting important, but outside in Chicago for a poetry fest. And one more that is a really short one and has no images, and it's just weird, and I had to do it for Warren. May he rest in peace. I would just hear strange stories from this man. This is a short piece called Warren Stories. I heard this story about a fat woman who sat naked on a pork chop bone once and didn't notice when it lodged itself amongst her folded folds of fat. Years later, when she felt a sharp pain and the doctors couldn't figure out what it was, they opened her up and found the pork chop, and then realized that her skin just eventually grew over it. What? more stories, our little thing, which is a perfect way to shut me up and go on to the next reader, because I would love to hear whatever my guest Zoom host, David, has. And I promise I'm going to close that blind so this isn't a problem for everybody anymore, because I've got like prison bars over me. But thank you very much for listening, you guys. David, take it away, my darling, and take it away.